So I just got back from a 10-day trip in Colorado, and I've got my complete rig set up, pretty fleshed out, and I want to show you around a little bit of how I do my camp setup. I'm going to start with the front seat and show you real quickly what I've done here. It's not a lot, but it's easy, quick to show you. So basically, I've got, of course, the rubber mats. You can see after 10 days in Colorado how much of a difference that makes. That's a huge mod you've got to do, or else it's a mess to clean up. I've also added a light bar. I'll show you that in a minute. But I went with a cheaper version of like an S-Pod that I can turn the light bar on. I've only got one thing on it now, but there's other pieces to it. So that's been added here. It's just Velcro to the dash. Other than that, I do have my tablet that I use for navigation. That's a key piece here, and it's worked great on this. And everything else is pretty much stock, other than what I'll show you. You know, that's been in the mod videos. So now we'll move to the back seat of the driver's side. I've done quite a bit of work here. So to start with, I built a platform. That's, you know, the back seat is a 60-40 seat, I guess, or 70-30. I built a wood platform with some wood I had sitting around. It's probably 3/8 inch plywood, and it's screwed into where the foundation of where the back seat folds down. There's holes there. I just screwed it into that, or bolted it into that. The wood itself wouldn't have been strong enough to support the entire weight of all this, so I did add a piece of I guess it's C-channel, you could call it, from a hardware store, to give this some support and strength across here, and that's worked really well. Just basically screwed into the edge. So now I set this up because it's on top of, it's a little bit higher than on top of the support for the back seat. You can see if you go up underneath here, I do have a piece of a 2x2 on there, so that it's a little bit taller. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to use this space under here. I already had some of these Sterilite tubs, and this is what I put my clothes in for the trips. So I actually have two fits underneath here. There's one here, and then there's another one here, and they're just empty now. I've already emptied out the truck some, but I can split up my clothes. Even like if it's a 10-day trip, I can do 5 days worth of clothes in one and 5 in another, or types of clothes, shorts versus pants, or something like that. But I get plenty of room for two tubs of clothing there. So then also I'm using the same refrigerator slide that I've had in my other videos. You look back and you can see how I built that. The only difference I've done on this slide compared to what it was before, I've added this lock to lock the roller into place so it doesn't rattle. So then basically it ends up, I'm at an angle in here. You can kind of see from the back seat here that there's an angle, and that's compared to, it's not just flush against the back seat that's put up. It's at an angle for a reason, and that's because the door itself is still at an angle. So I can pull this out, and I'm still cleared the door. That's the main purpose of that, why it's at a slight angle for that. And then it comes out far enough, I have room to fully open the lid and get what I want out of it. So that's using the same fridge size I had before. I got room for my small table as I had before. That hasn't changed. Before, I did have a way that I was basically mounting this in the Xterra so it would stop movement this way, and I've kind of done the same thing with this, where I'm just using a cinch strap, and it's connected into the strap that's used for the baby seat secure, so it doesn't affect anything there. I've taken out the headrest so there's more room. So beyond that, I still got some room here for some more storage. And in this case, I took my bigger chair along. I got it just strapped to the side. It fits in there nicely and just barely slides out there. And then I found I had enough space. After this, I have like these are 8 or 9 inch tall tubs. I just got these recently. So this is, you know, basically cold food. This is all my dry foods. And I've kind of expanded it a little bit over what it was before. So now I have 2 tubs. There's this one and another tub back here, so I can kind of split up snacks versus canned goods or something like that. So I have more room for dry good foods, and they're just same thing, Velcroed down like they always have been. In the door, the Ford F-150s have a lot of door pockets, so I kind of keep things handy, a bag I might need. You know, I got tumblers right here and the hat type of thing, you know, so it's just a easy access to some things. There are more on the other side. I'll show you in a minute. Okay, now on the passenger side, I'm going to start with the front door. Not a whole lot going on here as far as customization. In the door itself, I've got handy bags for trash and everything. A little bit of bug spray. This is where I keep my fire extinguisher, and I have a safety vest handy, and maybe, you know, things like wipes. So the doors themselves actually on an F-150 hold a lot of stuff. Depends on what you want to put in there. So then, other than that, it's pretty well stocked in here. In the glove box, it's I got, you know, standard glove box stuff down here. But then I also there's an upper glove box. This is where I put my things like the, you know, the tire gauge and air up and air down materials and stuff like that are in here. So I have lined it. That's part of one of the mods I'll show you. Just because I don't like rattles. It was an easy thing to do. Other than that, I want to show you. Obviously, I use, like a lot of people do, the hydro flasks. They're big 40-ounce things. None of the cup holders in a F-150 will hold a hydro flask. So we have. I bought these conversions to make it fit it. All right, now we're going to move on to the passenger side rear door. Again, on the F-150s, lots of pockets in the doors. I got things like some toilet paper handy, some duct tapes I might need, odds and end tools. I have, like, this is the lug wrench for the to take the tires off if I need to. I put it in a sock just because I hate rattles. And then you got a rag sock if you need it. Side, I've got some stuff going on here. I've used this tub as this is my kitchen tub. It's got all my kitchen gear in it for cooking and serving. So I got the pots and pans. I got the silverware. You know, all that kind of stuff. So this is everything I need to cook and eat. That's my kitchen tub. I've got the aquatainer will fit here. I've shown in other videos I use a cleaned out laundry soap tub to do quick hand washing stuff. A couple of gallons there, so that's 7 gallons plus 2. That's plenty. And then I also carry gallons of drinking water. Further into here, I found I'm using a nice 2-burner propane stove, a good old-fashioned Coleman one, and it just squeezes in here nice and tight between the seats. I get to use that space, and then I also help stop rattles with that too. Obviously, I have a rattle problem. As you just saw, I had one big plastic tub for all my cooking and eating items, utensils, etc. And it was kind of a little bit of a problem in the way that everything I always wanted was always at the bottom of that tub. So I had to like dig things out and all that. So I kind of had extras of these. They were from another older setup that I did. So I had these little, I guess they're like 8-inch tall tubs. So I separated them into like the eating things and the cooking things. And then I can then you know, just pull one out or the other and not have to dig down below anything. So this was just made out of some PVC with kind of the furniture corners. They were leftovers from when I had a full-length PVC shelf in the Xterra, and I cut it down to half a length, so I had all the parts. I just recut some pipes to make this, and then this was the piece of wood that was part of it. It's kind of, you know, a little bit cut up, a little bit weird, but it doesn't matter for what I need. And then so I basically have the 2 bins with the stuff in it, and then I still have a shelf that I can put all kinds of stuff on, and I don't have to, like, that was the other problem, is everything I wanted in the bin always had something on top of it, so I had to take it all out just to get to the bin. Also, just to utilize all the space, you know, I squeeze in between the seat. I've got the pop-up basically sink basin for cleaning things. Fits in there, and it's out of the way then. And then down here, underneath the second back seat, the 40% or 30%, whatever it is, I store a bunch of things. I use just a cheap kitchen rug on the ground, so I can kind of wipe my feet before going up to the rooftop tent. I store that right here. It's handy. A quick whisk broom for cleaning things out. And I've got other tools in here. I use this now with this rooftop tent. This is one of those steps that hooks here, and then it makes it easier for me to climb up to latch the rooftop tent. And then I just got a few other things in here, like the these are my jumper cables. I have a rubber mallet to run tent stakes in, and this is some of the extra wiring for the refrigerator itself. So then also, you know, with the food bins latched on here, I got room for coats and other things, maybe even, you know, pillows or sleeping bags if I didn't have them in the rooftop tent. So there's room for more storage of soft goods up there. This setup allows me to still use the rear view mirror from the front. I see, you know, 2/3 or whatever of the view past this, and I can still see out the back. So I kind of like that part of it as well. Okay, now let's move to the bed of the truck. I've done a little bit of work here. To start with, I've got everything in the bed of the truck all strapped down, because obviously you don't want it flying around while you're off-roading. And the way I did that is I bought just one sheet of 4x8 sheet of 3/4 inch plywood, and I cut it the lengthways, and then just did a cutout of the wheel wells. And then I took the pieces that were left of that and added it to it, so that I've got more strap downs here. So then I bought some of the hooks that you can see all throughout here, how it's using different bungee cords and tie down straps to, and I can, you know, just simply screw these in. Most of them are bolted in, but I also can do quick screw ins to add or delete if I need to. As far as the wood itself, I did treat it with some, I guess it's like a wood treatment or deck treatment waterproofing material, and I just completely drenched it several times, so it's been treated for waterproofing. So then what's in the bed itself right now is how I did my trip. It's a little bit unique for this particular trip, because I've got actually spares in here. One of them was my friend Mike's. He's got 37-inch spare in the bottom, and I have a second spare up here that's got no rim in it, because it was a long trip and I just wanted to make sure I was completely covered and I had room for it. So I actually have two big spares in here. For this last trip, when it's not in here right now, but we'd actually carried a 20-pound propane tank in the middle of the tires there, and we had a small propane fire pit that we had to use because there was fire bans in Colorado. So then in here, what I've got basically is, for the most part, it's 3 different storage tubs. I have that what's in my bins video, and it explains what these are. Maybe this one's a little bit different. This one I really added at the end, and it really kind of covers some of the things that were more specific to this trip. I have my blocks for leveling out the truck if I need to have a level spot for the sleeping. I got a traction board here, and I brought my smallest buddy heater along because we were expecting some cold weather. So that was kind of an add-on bin that I did. The other 2 bins over here are what was exactly in my video of what's in the bin. So this is tools and recovery gear completely here, including my air compressor and hoses. I just did they stack and they nest together, so there was no movement the whole trip. This all stayed exactly where it is. For this trip, we wanted a little bit extra comfort, so I brought another larger table so we could do cooking and stuff off of that. Actually, it turned out to be that we didn't use it. The tailgate of the pickup works as a great work surface table, so I didn't even get that out the whole time. On this side, I basically carried my shovel. I haven't done a shovel mount yet. I'll work on that. And I also have the handy dandy Harbor Freight free trash gripper for picking up trash at the campsites when people leave it behind. The only other thing in the bed then, you know, there's room for work surface back here. We might, if you carry wood or something like that, is what I would probably do. The other thing in the bin is a little bit different. This is my stainless steel industrial trasheroo. Basically, I had an old electric eye trash can that the electronics went bad in, and I got plenty of room, so I made this my trash can. I added a little peg down here and this so that I can keep it closed, but I just basically have my trash in there, and it holds more than a, you know, it's a large kitchen, bigger than a kitchen trash can, so it holds plenty of trash. Okay, I just wanted to give you a little update of what I've done in the bed before I built this rack. A friend and I did it together. Basically, it's just some simple angle iron with some 2-inch banding straps welded to it, and then I did 3/4 inch by 1.5 inch rectangular tubing, so that it would give it some rigidity, so that it's got some more stiffness this way. I made it so it's a little bigger than the tubs I'm using right now, the bins, because I do have some other bins that are a little bit bigger size. So in the end, I've got the 2 in the bottom, and then I'll be able to do 2 on the top. And then you can see with the tailgate up, it fits just right the way I have it set up now. I just screwed it into the wood that I have in the base of my bed, and I left a little over a foot in the front here for a couple reasons. One of them could be I could set a extra spare upright in this space, or in this case I have my new I guess you call it onboard water system just right in here, and it just fits perfectly and holds those bins from sliding around. One little update I do need to do to these bins is I'm going to add another band across here so that if I have bins that are a little bit shorter than this, they won't fall down into there. Okay, now I want to show you the actual rooftop tent and awning setup. That's the kind of the core of the camp setup here. So basically I've got an adjustable rack system on here. I found a great deal on they were new in the box, but less than half price because he overbought some for his company. So this has been a great setup. On this particular rooftop tent, it's already got a track built into it, so all I had to do is use some stainless steel bars that I've set up to just basically bolt into that 4 corners. So solid as a rock, not a problem with that. It's worked great. On the awning part of it, I just have the awning mount here. It's just a standard stainless steel L bracket bolted into using the T-nuts on the top in the track of the bed rack, and then it's just mounted solid as a rock. No problems there at all. Okay, one of the things I do a little bit differently with my awning, I've got just a everyday awning that's nothing special, is there's these straps that comes with the awnings. These things are built into this cover, and I know that those things will go rotten with the sun. So I've bought a couple-inch wide Velcro, 2-sided Velcro straps, and I cover those so that they don't get rotted in the sun, just to preserve this a little bit longer. And it was a couple $dollars worth of Velcro straps. So that's something a little bit different I do with my awning. So one simple mod that I've done on the awnings is added some of these. You can see in the track there, I've got LED light strips. Pretty basic, nothing special about them. They're wired up, so I've got an actual connector for a wire that I have that'll go to a cigarette lighter adapter and be plugged in. So I have that, and then I also have another piece of wire that'll go from here out to the outer edge of the awning and into this one, and then I have another strip of LEDs up here, so you get plenty of lighting, and it adds kind of to the work surface area lighting and everything else under the tent. I mean the awning itself. Okay, then I also mentioned I had the ham radio. We'd use them extensively when we're on the trail together. There was 5 rigs on this trip, so they were in constant use. For me, I've run the wire along the floorboard and up, and I've got it just coming out. And because this is an aluminum truck, I can't just mount my magnetic mount antenna anywhere. So I kind of had to add. I had a piece of metal bracket for another purpose that was able to just screw into the top of the rack here, and this gave me my steel mount for my magnetic mount antenna, so that worked well. So as far as my rooftop tent setup is concerned, I'm going to cover this in a greater detail, but I've got the Maggiolina Extreme. I'll kind of cover a separate video of how that all worked out and what I had to do with this tent, but it's worked extremely well in this case. When I got the tent, it did not have a ladder, so I just basically purchased off of Amazon a standard collapsible ladder that's pretty well similar to everything that comes with it, and this whole ladder setup has worked great. The only thing I've really done to it is I've added some hooks on the end, just simple using a screw setup and some metal to hook onto there. Otherwise they're just standard ladders that come and you can see there's just the basic simple breakdown on them. This particular one came with the case, drying out from the wet weather we had. So the rooftop tent setup is pretty basic. It's nothing special in here. I just, I typically kind of lay at a little bit of an angle because I'm alone, and I just have my big sleeping bag. I have an extra large sleeping bag. I like to be able to turn around in it and roll over easily in it without getting all caught up. So otherwise it's just a pretty standard rooftop tent on the inside. One of the differences with this extreme version is it's a crank up version. It's not by gas shock, so I actually have there's actually a mechanism with a screw and connectors of these crossbars that lift the top of it on it, and that's kind of what makes it the extreme, is that it's also able to support a little bit of weight on the top then. So as I mentioned, this extreme version it's a crank up and crank down, so it's a little bit different. This is the actual crank handle that you get from the factory on it, and you can see it just basically, you can turn it on the way down, it goes down really easy, and then it's, it just comes down, and then it's just a matter of the setup and takedown is really just a matter of tucking in the sides as you go along. So I'm not one to leave things as they are, so I've kind of got an extra step with the rooftop tent, the ability to crank it up and down. I basically have taken a deep socket and there added a little pin across there, so I can use this instead of the hand crank. So you can see with the drill raising and lowering the tent is considerably easier and quicker. It goes that quick and easy, just a few seconds on that. Going back up, pretty much the same thing. And you can see how easy that is. The limitation I did find on this last trip, we actually hit a winter storm, and weather was down in the 20s at night, and batteries don't necessarily hold up the best when they're that cold, so you definitely need to keep the backup crank around. One of the other things I did on this mount is I added some of the little rubber tips onto the bolt bottoms themselves, so I don't quite snag my clothes or rip my back open if I'm kind of doing stuff in the bed while the tent is mounted. These are just simple little rubber covers. They're normally sold for the tips of the closet racks, that the white rack that you buy and customize your closet. It's just the tips that cover those, and they work great. They fit tight over those screws on the that hang down. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button and subscribe. We'll see you on the trail.